We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts, Matt Sterling and Brandon Brooks. Let's get into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Matt and Brandon are here breaking down this week's game against the Milwaukee Wave. We'll talk about some of the player movement that's been going on, address some comments that have been made, and look ahead to what's going on with this weekend's games in California. But first, Brandon, how are you doing, sir? Notice you're sling-free.
Yeah, trying anyway. I mean, I don't have a follow-up till Thursday, but I figured, usually when I'm home, I can sit around without it. It's just sitting at the desk can be a little bit, uncomfortable. So I'm trying it tonight. But I just need to be careful because otherwise it's going to hurt and you're going to watch me just writhe in pain.
Yeah, it's been a eventful week for me. I'll go into the details with you off stream.
Fair enough.
I didn't even say much in the group chat where I was just like, yeah, some things happen at work, so I got Sunday off.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear that.
Got to watch the game live and discussed going down, but ended up over at my family's cabin in Forestport raking the roof off.
Yeah, that's
a little more important where there were like 18 inches on it, and
yeah, and who knows how much more to go.
Yeah. February is usually the snowiest month. Right up there with January. They're like within an inch or two of themselves. So.
Oh yeah. It's cold. Oh my God, it's been cold this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I looked it up. I think we averaged like 3 to 4 foot a month in February. So we ain't done yet.
Not even close.
And we're going back to the negative 30s this weekend. So
can't wait. Nice time to sit inside and watch some soccer.
I was gonna say, once again, the guys get out of town as it gets as cold as can be.
Yeah. And
end up on the West Coast where, a little bit warmer up in the Pacific Northwest, but now they're going to be in San Diego and the Inland Empire where it will hopefully be warmer. Unlike when I went out there and it was like 50 degrees.
Yeah, and they're going to be out there for a bit too. I mean, it's going to be
2 games.
Well, not just 2 games, but I mean, they're going to have to be out there at least by Thursday.
Yeah.
And then the next game is Saturday. So at least 2-3 days. So it's going to be a long trip. Bring me back something fun.
Say hi to Philly for us.
I can do that on my own, but just not in person.
Oh, yeah. All right, Brandon, let's talk about this game.
No.
Another 7-6 loss. I know, it's deja vu all over again.
I hate that number. I hate both of them. And I was so freaking close too.
You were so close. You just had that swapped.
Yep.
You had a little too much confidence.
I tried. I really did. I tried to have. I mean, when it was, when it was like 6-4, I'm like, maybe. And then they scored that 7th, and I'm like, darn it, I missed it by that much.
You try. Well, that's what we do. We take our best shot, and sometimes things are unfortunate. But, look, let's talk about the stat that tells the story.
Ugh.
I'll open it up, since you complained about that last week. And, I don't think there's too much that needs to be said about this one, besides it was a game of streaks.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's 4 unanswered goals was the longest streak. It included a shorthanded goal, and it was the decisive run that Utica had just gone up 4-3. 17 seconds later, they give up the equalizer, and then it was all Milwaukee for the next 7 minutes, where they just put things out of reach.
Yeah. I actually, to be honest with you,
almost 12 minutes.
Mine kind of coincides with that, so I'm just gonna lead right in with it. My stat is actually one that's not even recorded.
Mm.
My stat, well, it sort of is and it's not. It may say 1 next to our number for power play. I count that as 0 because not only did we might have scored on our on our power play, but we also gave up a goal on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that we had that shorthanded goal against us is really the stat that tells the story about this game, unfortunately. You know, it just shows that we just didn't, you know, the defense is still lacking. Our track back is still lacking severely, unfortunately, in some instances. And yeah, I'll save it for after we go over this game. I've actually got some notes about kind of the road to redemption that I would like to go over with you.
Okay.
That I have not told him about at all.
No, I love having things sprung on me. It's so much fun.
You know what? You did it to me. So this is my turn.
No, it's not. I gave you 24-hour warning.
You still sprung it on me.
That is not sprung. That is, you have 24 hours to mentally prepare.
I still wasn't.
And, you know, overall it went well.
Yeah.
Dropped a few followers, not too worried about it, because from the rest, the reaction was very positive.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. But no, I just, you know, I wrote apparently a bunch of stuff down because I have paragraphs that I wrote down. So I've got a bit to talk about.
You know, I've told you some of the computer stuff I was dealing with today, and I did not do a whole lot of note taking because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much notes on the game, but just notes in general of observations from past games, this game, and things that need to change. Like, this is, I guess I'll save it for my things that need to change because it's literally my list. So the things that need to change might take a little while.
All right, Brandon, you got to play that change the game in this one?
Yeah, the shorthanded goal. No, I'm just kidding. That's too easy. And honestly, that didn't really change much. That just kind of solidified it. I'm honestly trying to think if there really is necessarily one that stood out to me. Because I mean, you know, there was a few really good defensive plays that happened on both sides that, you know, it wasn't necessarily the goalkeeper that kept the ball out of the net. It was a defender or it was another player that kept the ball out of the net for both sides. I know there was one that happened with Wilkin. There was one that happened with Willie B. So it's like both sides had some really good defensive plays. I honestly, I mean, my play that changed the game, it kind of shaped the game, was just the very first goal. The fact that we gave it up in 42 seconds. I mean, they just ran through us like butter. Bing, bing, bang, boom, goal. And yeah, we came back. We didn't go down 2 for once. But yeah, it's just, you know, that kind of shaped the game for me. It's like, okay, here's the right, you know, here's where it all begins. And I wasn't wrong at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you stop me if you've heard the story. Utica gives up an early goal. Kind of makes a little bit of effort in the first. It has a little success, but ultimately trails early. Trails into the half. Halftime adjustments are made. They look competitive. Then they dig themselves another hole that they can't get back out of.
Yep.
And despite a late push, they fall short.
As I said on Sunday, you know, sorry, I gotta adjust my mic. So, it's like I said Sunday. This felt like a paint by numbers Utica loss. That's really what it felt. I need to stop doing that. Every time I shrug, it hurts. It's so second nature. So it's like I can only do it with this arm. But yeah, it just that's why, you know, it was hard to even think of a play because it literally just felt like, you know, a paint by numbers Utica game this season. Obviously I can't generalize and say it's been, across the past few seasons, but this season in particular, because it's unfortunately a particularly bad season. Yeah, it literally felt like a paint by numbers game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, look, for me, the play that changed the game is the Alex Sanchez goal that tied the game 17 seconds after Utica took the lead. There's no other way to put it. You kept Saucy Sanchez off the scoreboard except for that one.
Yep.
But any momentum that you had just started gaining got immediately crushed. And it's one of those where, what you said, coming out, first team to score out of the half wins the game, and Utica scores, and they tie it, and they go up one. And I'm just sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop
Yep.
because you know it's coming.
It's
And that's probably the most frustrating part about this.
Yep. Yeah, that's unfortunately how the season has felt. Every time that we start feeling, start getting some confidence, start really feeling like, hey, we're on to something this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when's the other shoe going to drop? Like, when is, the floor just going to fall out from underneath? And unfortunately, again, paint by numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to address the comment that just came in from Abel, 18. Particularly bad season in a year with only 8 teams. So it sticks out like even more of a sore thumb. No one to distract from it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, it's one thing if you're saying, we're only 2 spots out of the playoffs and you have Harrisburg and, Dallas and Texas all behind you, and Tacoma in the past would have been behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to them. I didn't see this coming from the Stars. You lose your 2 best players on paper, and you're more competitive, even though they have the second worst goal differential in the league.
Gee,
Like
who has
they
the
either,
first?
but like Tacoma either gets just blown out and they're not in the game, or they're winning tight ones for the most part.
Yeah, it's
This
we
past game where they also lost 7-6 being the exception.
we very much down, I don't want to say downplayed them, but we absolutely like wrote off Tacoma as this season's Texas Outlaws.
Yeah.
And they basically gave everyone else in the league the finger and said, we're still here and we're here to play.
Mm-hmm.
And they've shown it. I mean, they've been a competing team. They were a competing team last night. I mean, they only lost that game by half a second. Mm-hmm. Because if the fourth quarter was half a second longer, they would have won. I don't know if you watched it or not, but
no, I didn't catch any of it.
Literally, they had to go to review because it was that close. There was 1.5 left when I don't even remember the player, but when they headed it in and it bounced, and because it bounced, it was dead.
That extra second.
It took that extra second, so it was like, man. And then they unfortunately lost in overtime, but it's like that's crazy. So, like, yeah, they're very much a competing team. It's wild.
Yeah, and to address Huber's comment that just came in, their key is chemistry. They've been together for quite a while. That's something we're going to talk a little bit about with Utica coming up, given statements from one of the players, and we'll address the other stuff that goes with it.
Yeah, and to address the 4, you talking about the 4-4 goal or the 4-3, like when the 4-4 goal when they tied it back up. It was literally off of a set piece. So we gave up a penalty in our defensive third and gave up a set piece, and it was just Max Ferdinand pass it back, and away we go with Alex Sanchez. So
tied it. Yeah.
And it was just, back post. Like textbook. But yeah, it was a game. It was a game.
Yeah. Look, all right, Brandon. Look, I'll go with what's got to come out of this. What's got to change is you got to stop digging yourself holes. It's one thing to, go back and forth and lose. It's another to go down multiple goals multiple times in a game and
Mm-hmm.
have to try to claw your way back out of it.
Yeah, yeah. This clawing, fighting back, um, sucks. And I know I understand that we go down a bit just because we don't have the firepower
Hmm.
necessarily. We do and we don't. We have a lot of inexperienced firepower. And, you know, unfortunately, it's just we either need to stop the initial firepower of the other teams so that we can gradually
Hmm.
get into our swing of things in the games, or we need to fire fast and fire early. So, yeah, that's I would say you'd probably want to skip mine and do the
Positive takeaway?
positive takeaway before I get into mine because
Oh,
mine's going to
okay.
take a minute.
I mean, you can take as long as you want, man. We've spent
I
20
figure
minutes on some of this stuff before.
I figure we'll lose track of the last thing we need to talk about by the time I'm done talking.
Okay, okay. Well, positive takeaway is you looked competitive for stretches. There was that stretch to start the second half where you were dominant. The sixth attacker has looked better.
It has.
Um, Gio has really come into his own running that, though for defensive purposes, I'd almost rather have Wilkin out there as the sixth attacker, just playing up as a goalkeeper. He's not afraid to rip it. He's got a pretty good foot, and
He literally scored
getting
one of our
back
few goals
in
in
Tacoma.
Tacoma. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I was going to say my positive was actually Gio. Just he really stepped up and he continues to step up as that distributor that I kept saying we need. And
Hmm.
he's absolutely showing up uh as that particular distributor. I mean, he had 4 assists on this game, which
Hmm.
is wild to me. I mean, that just seems high compared to what we normally see from anybody on this team.
Hmm.
So it's great that he's stepping into that distributor role. We need that.
It just needs to be more consistent.
Well, yeah, it needs to be more
I'm
consistent for a game.
Yeah, no, look, he came in with 5 goals and 4 assists on the season,
Mhm.
and he had a goal and 4 assists yesterday. Huge career day for him.
Yep.
Um, I think that's what one of the other things needs to. We just need to see that consistency from many of the guys on the team. Flashes are great, but flashes in the pan happen in every sport. I mean, Knicks fans remember the Linsanity run. It was like a 17-day stretch where Jeremy Lin was the hottest player on the planet in the NBA about a decade ago,
Mm.
and he burned out and never really caught on anywhere else. Yeah, he
Yep.
got a couple other chances, but last I knew, he finished his career in China.
Yeah. I have no idea. You ready for this?
Sure, go for it.
All
Let's
right.
get the big ol'.
So I took a lot of notes. I basically called this the road to redemption for this team because I have 3 plus an extra corrective action that I think needs to happen in order for these guys to be successful. This is stuff that I've thought about. This is stuff that I've discussed with other people who are familiar with the sport. And I think that this is what we need to do to really move forward with this team and be competitive in this season. The first is we need to fix the defense. Whatever that may be, if that means having right now, one of the things that I kind of thought about is in past years, we've had assistant coaches. This season, it's just Everton, which means that we just have that offensive mindset. I know he can coach for, the whole thing, but we don't. He's more offensive minded. We know he's more offensive minded. We've seen that in the way that he coaches, the way that this team plays. What we need is a defensive mindset to offset that. And right now we don't have that. The only voice that we've got going on is offense, 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 offense. And so we can't think about the defensive side as well. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that means bringing on an assistant coach. Bring on Nate. Like, Nate would probably be a great choice. Nate, Darren Toby, somebody like that. Really get that defensive mindset as an assistant coach. Like, that would help a ton, in my opinion, because they would have the real world experience to be able to coach these players, these defenders, on what to look for, what to recognize, again, play recognition, run tracking, stuff like that. And I really think that would genuinely help, and would help to offset Everton in some of his blind spots that he might not think about, might not see. So right now it's, we've got a really, really bad, we've got commitment problems. We've got really bad defensive commitment problems. It's just watch the games. I mean, we always push forward and we are slow to get back in a lot of instances. So that's my number one. I guess a little bit more to that is stepping to the ball. There's some instances where instead of, when it's getting in our defensive third, instead of stepping to the ball and trying to, clear it that way, we're standing back and waiting for it to come to us, or waiting for the other person to make the first move. I mean, talking the talk is one thing, walking the walk is another. I'm just saying. But fair. Number 2, I kind of touched on a little bit, run tracking. That has been run tracking and player tracking, specifically defensive minded. This has cost us multiple goals, losing track of our runners. There are multiple times where someone will be undefended because we're trying to crash in on someone else, or we just lose track of who's who. And, we've seen like Pinal do it, not to, call him out directly, but we've seen like him do it, where he's lost track of who he's defending. And the next thing you know, that person is wide open and goal. We've seen it with multiple people. I think Juan did it. A lot of them are guilty of it. Like, those are just two that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. So, track back drills, keeping an eye on your defender and anticipating them, getting a more of that run recognition, more of that play recognition would genuinely help this team. And again, that would come from a defensive minded player / coach to be able to instruct them on that and help them through that.
So I just want to interject for 1 second. One of the unique things about Everton's coaching is, and he's said it publicly several times, is he does not use a defensive runner. He expects his forwards, his midfielders, everyone to be able to defend. Whereas traditionally in this league, your bigger target forwards, or even the smaller ones that might get at a disadvantage on the defensive side because they can get pushed around and space created, they would sub off, and a guy at the other end of the bench would take off to cover for them, getting that 15-foot head start or whatever it is. And that's something that he has stated he does not do.
Well, here's a question. Is it working?
I'm going to say if you have...
It worked with... Bye. I guess teams crashed. Looks like my team's crashed. Oh no. Cut him off mid-thought. Yep, and teams dropped the call. All right, let me call you back. Jeez. We'll get him back in here, folks. Just give me a minute. Maybe. Oh. You know, I miss Skype. I really miss Skype. It worked out well for us. I had all the little intricacies worked out and everything, and then Microsoft dropped it, and now we're stuck with this. Oh. There it is. There's the call.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa.
Hold on. Am I?
Why are you doubled?
Okay. I don't know what's going on with Teams. That's also why I'm in. Oh, I know why.
And now you're doubled for me.
Double this, double that, double this,
God.
double that, double this, that. Don't mind me, I'm just enjoying a pint of Coke. Can't hear you anymore, Brandon.
Poop. And now I'm going to hear you double again. I know I'm going to hear you double.
Double?
Yep, there it is. We'll do this. See if this works. Say something. Make sure that audio's coming through.
Make sure the audio's coming through.
All right, you're good. I can only hear you once, and I can see it coming through on OBS, so.
All right, so hopefully everything's good in the stream. If chat would just let us know. I don't know what's going on with Teams. That's not even on me. Like last week I was like, yeah, my computer's being weird. That's why I'm on the laptop this week. Nothing froze over here. Teams just went kapoosh.
Teams just rebooted for me too. It wasn't just you. Like it just restarted. But I don't remember where we were at. I know you were talking about.
We're talking about the defensive runner.
The way that Everton plays, and
you asked if it was working. I said it's not. It could, in theory, work, but not everybody is a Liam Callahan type of player. I think it was the last thing I said as the call dropped.
See, I didn't catch that part.
Okay.
So we didn't get that part.
And you can't build a team of all Liam Callahans. You need different talents for different situations. And like there's a reason why for most soccer it's not a positionless sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can run total soccer. It's very different. If you get into that, Ted Lasso covers it in their third season. I only bring that up because we just started rewatching it tonight.
We're not subscribed to Apple TV right now, but I really want to watch it at some point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great.
We kind of like rotate. We kind of rotate through the streaming services, and like we'll watch something we really want to watch, then unsubscribe and move, and yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. We could use a little believe in our lives right now.
Yeah.
Yes, Kate, they don't need to know that I get emotional over Ted. Sorry. I just put that. They do a very good job of matching the music to the mood.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some very rough emotional scenes, especially, again, in the third season.
Yep. Also, I remember, Michelle. I remember those good times. Having Jake, Liam, Toby. Good season.
All right, but go ahead. You can continue. I just wanted to point out the defensive runner thing.
And
Like,
so
that might be something worth revisiting from a coaching aspect and
now,
saying it's not working now. Maybe we give it a try.
now I do want to just preface the whole thing with the run tracking. It is something that comes with time, and these guys don't have a lot of time in the league. Some of them do, some don't. A lot of them don't. They've only got even the ones that have a couple of years in. It's still only a couple of years versus the other teams we're playing against that have got 5-10 years under their belt at this point for a lot of these guys. And right now we don't have that veteran presence. We've got, we'll call them, they're not necessarily veterans of the league, but they are, they've been around for a couple of years, but they still don't have, like 5-10 years of experience. You know what I mean? At least in this exact league, in this sport. So it's something that comes with time. It's a really tall ask for the run tracking and stuff, but it's something that I'm just calling out that really needs to be worked on. Something that I'm trying to. We have Gordy, but that's one. That's one. And that's an offense. That's an offensive-minded player given his positioning, and that doesn't cover it. Gordy does not cover it. Gordy's a good player, but he can't cover all of this. And again, he's not a defensive-minded player. He's an offensive-minded player. So he's not going to be able to help with this run tracking stuff necessarily. To an extent, yes, but not to the level that we need.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, if there's a player that would benefit from having a defensive runner, it's Gordy.
Yeah.
One, the ankle is an issue. Two, love him on offense. He's kind of also got a bad habit of diving defensively.
I was going to say kind of diving in general, unfortunately.
Well,
and
I don't mean like flopping diving. I mean like a defensive dive where like you're just lunging at it, and like the kind of stuff that you get trained out of you at a lower level if you're like a midfielder or a defender. It's not as big of a problem if you're an offensive player, but if you're being asked to play on defense as much as these guys are, it becomes much more apparent.
Yeah, it does. And again, it really plays into, like the first couple of points that I've made. If we have a good defense and we have, the run tracking, things like that, then we can help to mitigate some of the issues that might come from, minor mistakes. But right now, every minor mistake ultimately ends up costing us because it's hard to correct from that. Corrective action number 3. This is my last one. I've got a bonus. Ball control and recognizing passing lanes and positioning. How many times have we seen them serve up a ball, like as the play is, basically what appears to be as the play was, drawn up, only for it to sail behind them, sailing too far in front, just them being out of position. We've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. And I know that there's a lot of what ifs, like, you can't hit the ball perfectly to, bonus or to have it bounce exactly where you want it. But you can get pretty close in a lot of instances. And it just seems like we're not adapting to every situation, to every team. We're just, hey, we've got this play, run it by the numbers, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll try the next one. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of flexibility in running these plays. It just seems like run it, okay, move on. Secondly, sort of along with, not necessarily along with that, but like the ball control. There are multiple. How many times have we seen these guys start dribbling up the field on a, not necessarily on a run, but just kind of like on a counterattack, only to just pass it back all the way back to Brian, start over. And I feel like part of the reason for that is confidence. I feel like a lot of these guys are not confident that they're going to be able to dribble past these defenders. They get somebody coming up one-on-one on them, and their first reaction is to pass it to someone else, pass it back. They don't try, I understand there's a lot of risk in trying to dribble past someone, but it lends to a confidence issue that these guys are just not confident in their abilities to be able to maintain control of the ball without giving it up. And so they just pass it away, and it's like, okay, someone else's problem now. Or, hey, if I pass it to them, then they can just pass it back to me after I get past this guy because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. That's what it reads to me. And, it just seems like these guys need to build up some confidence in themselves and build up, if that means, refining their ball control, refining their ability to, beat defenders, then that's what they got to work on. But that's what that reads to me, is it just seems like they're afraid to try and dribble past someone. Yeah, they do it way too much on power play and 6 attacker. That's partially why those are, failing as much as they are.
I guess kind of to tangent off of this, in a almost parallel off of this, is what I put in our group chat yesterday, where early on I was like, are we just going to rely on trying to get wall of scoras? You can use the boards. That is great. But your pass off the boards is almost never going to be as accurate because you're just deflecting it. If it hits one of the creases, if it goes high and it hits the lip on the boards, there's no telling where it can go.
Yeah.
If it hits the glass, it's going to bounce differently than if it hits the boards itself. I haven't had a chance to ask, hasn't crossed my mind. We should ask these guys if we get a chance. Do these new digital boards in Utica play different than boards in other arenas? Because you're adding a variable versus just using good off-ball movement and creating passing lanes to try to get open shots.
And that's sort of where the positioning comes in. It's like, if you can take out the boards, the boards, needing to use the boards to get the wall of scorers, and instead are just able to pass into traffic and know that you can confidently do that to get to your guys, then I think that's just, pass into traffic, turn and shoot. If it works, great. But and if it doesn't, then okay, fine. But we probably would have been in the same boat if we tried to wall of score it. And I agree. It does feel like we rely on the wall of scorer way too much or it's basically wall of scorer and long shots, or just complete chaos in front of the goal.
Yeah. I said it in one of the Tacoma games when Utica scored on the power play, where they actually passed it inside the box zone defense. Those defenders turned, started to collapse on the ball handler. They passed it back out, had a wide open shot. Yes, soccer is different than basketball, but zones work basically the same across all sports.
Yeah, and that's where, you have a good point of how do these specific boards really play into this? So again, if you can take that variable out of it, perfect. More the better. So that's really where, we'll call it, kind of stiffness in our plays, and, playing off of what you said with the wall of score stuff, and just not really adjusting our lanes, adjusting our positioning to try and accommodate some of the teams we're going against. And of course, the ball control thing, the confidence thing. I really think that is a severe problem. And we're just constantly tracking back, or we're, laterally passing or passing back so that we can go, get past the defender and then pass back to that person instead of just trying to make our way through them. And again, that just seems like we're just not confident in our ability to do so.
Okay.
Last one, kind of a bonus, because this requires a signing. Right now, the most veteran people on the field that I could think of off the top of my head: Gordy, Juan, Brian. That's not enough, in my opinion. Because I know a lot of ours, we I don't know if you were going to touch on the Vinny thing, his announcement this week. But we know he's not coming back. So we know that's one veteran not going to be here. We kind of knew that already based on how the season's played out thus far, but we kind of figured. Calvin, I don't consider him a veteran. He's not a veteran of this sport. He's a veteran of soccer in general, but he's not a veteran of MASL. So I don't count him. So your most senior people are Gordy, Juan, and Brian. And Brian's just coming back. He just is coming back from, not playing full time with us.
Right. I just want to throw in the other senior one is Logan, but he's been injured the whole season.
See, I wasn't counting him.
He played 2 games and then has missed the rest of it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I didn't mention him. That's why I didn't mention Logan, because he's not on the field. So the three main ones that are on the field currently, as of right now, for the majority of this season, are those 3. They can't do it all. Gordy is a great offensive-minded person. He can definitely. There's a reason we call him game-winning Gordy. Juan has absolutely gotten better with the defense, and his captaining of the team. He's getting there. And Brian can only do so much from the back. But also the first 2 are not on the field all the time. They have to swap. I know Brian's on the field the whole time, but again, he can't do all that much from the back. We need another veteran presence, and it's not something we can sit on our heels and wait. I mean, if we know that we're not going to be getting certain people back, then we need to make up for that and get someone here. I don't care who, I don't care from where. A veteran that will help bring this team to success. So that is my bonus one, we'll call it, is just, again, because that one literally takes a signing. So
yeah, because your vets aren't just the experienced players. They're an extra eye, an extra voice. They are an extension of the coaching staff.
Exactly.
And you don't want to get too old of a roster, but you have to have a balance.
Yes.
Just like you have to have a balance between offense and defense. There is a happy medium that does seem to be. So you want to know why the 3 that you brought up are the 3 most senior ones you can think of? They are the only ones that have been here since the post-COVID season.
Yeah. And that's one other thing. I guess we'll call it bonus. We're talking a big game, and you may have been alluding to this. We're talking a big game about, okay, these guys are new. These guys are fresh. We can't expect that much out of them this year. But next year, or maybe the year after, we'll start to see improvements. If that's the case, we need to retain them. We can't just, okay, we're going to get them started, and then other teams are we're going to not fight to keep them, and we're going to watch them go to other teams. We can't we can't do that. We can't get their start and then just let them, and then just have them go somewhere else, because then all we're doing is constantly being the farm team for the rest of the league.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm just chuckling because you're getting a little bit ahead of me here.
Well, I kind of saw the writing on the wall, so.
Yeah. So, look, we'll address the two veteran signings that involve former Utica players. Um, Rochester native, former Utica City defensive stalwart, Jake Schindler, out of retirement. He has joined Nelson Santana in signing with Baltimore. It's his third time coming out of retirement to sign with Baltimore.
Yeah, it is.
Must like the coaching or something down there, or just getting away from New York for a while in the winter.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all.
And the other one, Vinny Dantas, signed with Harrisburg and M2.
Hmm.
He did put out a statement after that started going semi-viral within the MASL community. Um, I do believe him that his choice was made to not come back to Utica because he can spend more time with his family. But if that's the case, there is an M2 team in Texas where I believe he resides. What is he doing in Harrisburg? Did Texas not want him? I'd just love a little bit more detail on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you probably asked him, he would probably tell you offline. Honestly,
Yeah, probably
if you were
offline,
genuinely
probably
curious.
off the record.
Yeah.
Because I am generally curious. Like, did Texas now want him? Did he? Yeah, did Harrisburg make a better offer
Yeah. Because obviously, because we're literally just holding on to his contract,
in
basically
M1?
in M1, and he couldn't go anywhere, which
Yeah,
feels, not a huge fan of it, but
yeah. I'd take, the good old player to be named later and cash considerations for his rights.
yeah,
Um, so the next thing kind of leads into what you were just starting to talk about is I'm just going to quote a public post that was made within the UCFC Hardcore
ah, okay,
Facebook group.
I know which one you're
So
talking about.
in this one, one of the fans said it's time for Tommy to go.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of discourse in it. Gordy did step forward and make a statement. Times might be tough right now, but look at every roster this season. We are the youngest. Fully acknowledge that.
Very true.
Like you said, we gotta get these guys more experience. Tommy built a great team of ballers who are still learning. Only thing we need to do is keep the same group of guys for 3 to 5 years, as most championship teams don't switch up the roster every season.
Which is kind of felt like what
Tommy
we've
keeps
done.
this team together and running. Keep supporting the squad. You'll be able to see the improvement yourself. Love you for all the support. I'm proud to rep the city. First of all, Gordy, I love that you're coming to the defense of your general manager.
Yeah.
I love that you will come to the defense of your teammates. I love it. I don't love it that it's you making the statement, though. And I don't mean that as like you personally. I mean, where is the communication from Tommy Tanner and Everton Morera? Where is the addressment to the fans? Because the last thing really we heard from them publicly was a few years ago that we believe the team that he was taking over was close to competing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the 2022-2023 season, they called it ahead of schedule and believe they would be competing for a Ron Newman Cup within the next 2 to 3 years.
Which
That's
has not
clearly
happened.
not the case this year. As we already stated, only 3 players remain from the team from the year before Everton came here. Do you want to guess how many are still here from that year? From Everton's first year?
Less than half.
Mm-hmm. So from Ryan Hall's first year to Everton's first year, 13 players were retained. So roughly half your roster turned over.
Yep.
Now, a lot of that was depth pieces, but a lot of them were also, your Keaton Woods, your Dylan Hundelts, bringing in Steph mid-season, Cesar Correa, who left after 1 year, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in year one, there was a 50% roster turnover.
Yeah.
Since then, there's been another 75% roster turnover. There were only 6 players from that first season. This is essentially the second rebuild in 4 years,
Yeah.
which isn't what you sold the fans. And that's where the frustration comes from.
Yeah. Agreed. It's hard to
It's
root
not
for the
even
team when it's constantly rotating. I know
right.
that it's always going to be, there's always going to be a rotation. Every year there's going to be a rotation. Somebody's going to get an offer from somewhere better, somebody's going to give him a better offer potentially. And of course, a lot of these guys are going to take it because the players have to do what's best for them in any circumstance. If a lot of the, some of the issues that we've heard through the grapevine, and we touched on last week, the toxicity that we've been hearing about and things like that. If that's true, then that's going to be hard to maintain people and keep them around. Like, we have to foster we fostered a great community with the fans. I mean, they know how strong the fans feel about them and about this league, because we are some of the loudest, rowdiest fans that we typically hear on any broadcast, with a couple of exceptions. I mean, KC's probably got us beat, and San Diego is very ravenous as well. But we have a very passionate community, and so we've made that, we've fostered that relationship. They need to make sure that they foster the relationship of coaches and players to be able to maintain players and keep them around. And that seems to be, I don't know, there seems to be a disconnect there, because a lot of guys don't seem to have loyalty to the team after like the first season.
Yeah, look, to address Huber's response there, they have stopped communicating with the fans. Absolutely. That is my biggest issue with the team this year. It's not even what I would call transparency. It is public accountability.
Agreed.
There needed to be some kind of communication between either ownership, front office, management, somebody on the administration side needed to make communication with the fans. 1, about Kelvin, 2, about Vinny, 3, about the roster turnover over the past 4 seasons now. And that's I think where most of the frustration comes with. You can deal with young players and learning curves. It happens in every sport, unless you're, the Yankees and you're just going to bankroll your way to the top, San Diego.
And they've been struggling there too.
Yeah, throw all the money at it and not get a championship. Boy, haven't dealt with that in my personal life. Manchester United. But where is the communication? Like, we're not even asking for you to fall on your sword.
No,
we just want clarity. Has the situation changed?
Yeah,
I'm obviously the situation has changed.
I mean, even just something like
Go ahead.
Even just something like a status update on some of the players that we haven't seen in a while. Status update on Nilton. That would go a long way. To say, hey, can we expect him back? He was literally our top scorer last season. Like, can we expect to see him soon? It doesn't matter if it's like, no, we don't expect to see him soon. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for informing your fans, informing your fan base of, hey, here's kind of what we can tell you. It's definitely going to affect next year's ticket sales if things continue the way they are, because even, I'll be completely honest with you, even I've been considering whether or not I want to renew my tickets. And I've had season tickets in the same spot every year since the first season. Now, I probably still am going to maintain them, but the thought's there.
Look, Brandon, I haven't told you, I talked about it with Kate off podcast. Because of the writing on the wall in September and October, as nothing was being said, before you brought up, hey, when are we going to do our first show? I was debating if I even wanted to come back and do this.
Yeah,
There's
and
time, there's effort that
oh yeah,
goes into it, and I, I feel like I'm matching what the team's giving us.
you basically just didn't know if it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it worth our time and our effort and the emotional damage that comes with being a sports fan?
God, I wish I had that button. I used to have that set up. The emotional damage, and
To
I don't
do
anymore.
this. Huber, to address that point, obviously, like as Brandon said, it affects season ticket sales. It affects game to game sales this season, which affects free agent signings next year,
Yeah,
which affects season. It affects
it's
sponsorship. It affects everything. It's nothing happens in a vacuum
no,
in any
it,
team.
it's a snowball effect. One
Yes.
thing affects the other, affects the other, affects the other, and it just grows bigger and bigger and bigger until it's out of control, and then you're in free fall.
I think it was just last week or maybe 2 weeks ago where we were talking about the disconnect felt between fans and the approachability of players,
Mm-hmm.
how that's changed. A big part of that was many of the team that came in here back in 2017, 2018 were Central New York guys. This was their area. This was their home. They just drove a mile down or an hour down the thruway. But you lose that special connection, which is something that this league offers that you'll never get with MLB, NBA, ML, the big five leagues in this country, and you just start to see everything deteriorate. Look, if shyness is a thing, I fully understand that. I try not to be the one to approach the players just because we do this as a fan media thing. So I don't want to come off as pushy. Whereas I think generally any fan that's there, even if it's just at 72 afterwards, would appreciate any player that goes around and spends 60 seconds saying
Yes.
hi, thank you for coming out, talking a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be, you sit down with every single fan for half an hour or
No.
something. Just a quick 5 minute, like 2-3 minute conversation. And I mean, after the last home game, what was it? The Baltimore game that we won in regulation. We went to 72, and I mean, there was surprisingly like nobody there. I know that there was a storm rolling in, and we did have at least some people come over. Xavier was the first one to come over, and he's not even not even a technically a member of the team. He is, but on
He is,
loan.
but he's on loan. They could recall him. They could have recalled him when Toth got injured and said, "Hey, the loan's up. We need him back."
Yeah, so not saying that he's not part of the team, but you get my point. Like he's not someone I expect to see next season, basically. But like we had Juan, of course, came over because we know Juan. Juan knows us, and of course he's going to come over and we're going to chit chat. But that was it. All the rest of the players
Amadi came and chatted.
Amadi,
for a
that's
little
true. Yes, Amadi and somebody came with him.
Was it Tejera with him?
I think so. But yeah, so I mean, they were making the rounds. That was good to see. But then there was other ones that basically, they keep to them. They keep to their own. Which, I get that for some people, but you are in a position where public appearances help a lot. Santos.
Okay.
Yes. So I mean, they made their rounds. They were trying to do, basically run PR, which they all technically have to do. Yes, we get it. It was Santos. We understand. But yeah, it's just, it's, You know, you're constantly running PR. You're constantly running, um, you know, protecting your own image as well as the team's.
Mm-hmm.
And just those small little fan interactions help a lot. One thing that I think is a problem, if I'm honest, is the little like signing things that they say they're doing before every game. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're wearing these guys out with fan interactions. Like they're just getting sick of it. Um, I saw you both. Relax. Oh. Anyway, yeah, I mean, maybe they're just getting worn out with, dealing with people. I mean, I know that feeling all too well. But I don't know. That's all speculation.
Yeah. It's just like even the first couple of years, Everton would have made his rounds, and he just went right to the corner of the bar and kind of secluded himself.
Yeah, we had to seek him out.
And I think I've made it clear on here that my prediction for him to lose his job wasn't what I wanted. I said it doesn't necessarily reflect what I believe. It's just me reading the tea leaves.
It's still not something I
And
want necessarily.
I want continuity
Yeah,
from the coaching staff down to the roster. Turnover is going to happen, but there's, you don't want to force it.
we need some sort of consistency.
Yes.
And right now we don't have that, and we haven't had that for a couple of seasons, other than some very few people, coaching staff. Even coaching staff hasn't even stayed the same. I mean, last year we had. I want to go back because we had so many different people in coaching staff roles, and then this year we've got bare bones. I actually want to look at that real quick because that just kind of dawned on me how different our landscape for our roster in general is this year. Not even in player content, but in staffing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back and look at that because that is a very interesting thing to think about. I'm trying to pull it up as quick as I can, and so I'm just kind of like trying to talk over myself while I do.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, all right. This is what we have this year for team staff. Of course, we have Everton Moreira
Mm-hmm.
as head coach. We've got Tommy as general manager. We've got Julian Tillman as performance and mindset coach. And then we've got Hannah Bisak as the athletic trainer. And Matt Huber as equipment manager. Sort of, sometimes.
I hear the equipment managed him more or less.
Yeah, it kind of sounds right. I mean, last year, just as an example, we had the first first three. We had Everton, Tommy, and Julian, and then we also had Shay McNamara, which we had a good opportunity to talk to in the past, to be able to learn about what it takes to be a mindset coach. We had Hannah Bisak as well, so we retained basically all of them, but we also had technically listed as staff
Mm-hmm.
Nate Bordeaux, Nelly, and Jason Dalkovic, or Dalkovich, however if that necessarily may be pronounced. So I mean, again, me talking about the defensive stuff, defensive mindsets, we had a couple of people right there that were helping with that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I look back a couple years even further, I know that I'm almost positive it changed even more. So that's, again, we don't necessarily have consistency in the roster, both on the field and off the field, and that's something that we got to work on big time because
Mm-hmm.
all this turnover is hurting us.
Yeah. Like, yes, guys are going to retire, guys are going to move on. You have to replenish, um, but you have to retain as well. And something, whether it's financial, whether it's chemistry, whether it's in the locker room, whether it's just personal, has caused essentially two rebuilds in 4 years.
Hmm.
And that's not something you expect unless you're like the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Chicago White Sox. Sorry, Matt.
Oof.
I'll give it 30 seconds till hears that and the delay and then has something to say. Uh, all right, so let's look ahead to this weekend. You got two games. They are both in California. They play Empire. There it is.
Didn't take it to, you got the timing down pretty well.
So let me pull up the predictions so that we can go over last week's.
Yay.
I gotta
I'm
use my phone.
so excited.
I'm not fully set up on the laptop yet as I'm trying to get everything together. So I predicted a 7-3 loss. You predicted a 7-6 overtime win. I'm gonna get the point for Milwaukee. I'm gonna get the point for the loss. You're gonna get the point for Utica and the point for the spread or goal differential.
Yeah.
That Matt, that's nice. We've won. Well, Brandon, you're a Red Sox fan. You've won what, 3, 4 World Series in your lifetime?
Something like that. I mean, I don't
Yankees
pay
fan, I've
that
won
much of attention.
five in my lifetime.
And I mean,
But so yeah, 2-2 week on the spread or on the predictions. We had two games coming up here. Thursday night, 9:35 against Empire. Saturday night, 10 o'clock against uh, San Diego. I I I'll start with Empire. I expect this to be the closer of the two games this weekend. Both teams find themselves at the bottom of the standings.
mhm.
Both teams I don't have a negative goal differential, though Empire's is much closer to neutral.
Yep.
Utica is 1-2-1 on the road. Empire's 3-2 at home. Empire doesn't score a lot, but they possess the ball a lot.
Yes, they do.
Utica actually scores less than Empire. Doesn't possess, excuse me, very well, and has given up 13 more goals.
Right.
I, I'm gonna get a little risky for me on this one. I'm taking Empire to win, but I'm taking them with a 6-5 overtime win.
Okay.
You seem a little thrown off by that one.
A little bit. Uh, hmm. So, obviously, I am kind of in a certain mindset given my attire. You know, had to break out. God, I'm sorry, but their scarves are so comfy compared to ours. Like, they have a nice cushion in the back, and
Well, I'm sure their scarves are also, made in this decade and not from the 2010s.
I love these scarves. I love it. But I had to, of course, I broke out my, Empire stuff from a few years back, my Uzi Tayo jersey. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't see us winning in Empire. It's going to be a hard fought game. It's also, I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
because of the two styles. There's going to be a lot of tracking back because both teams like to push 6 players, not just 5. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we've struggled against the 6th attacker, and this is basically going to be a constant 6th attacker, which is going to prove very difficult for us. So I am also going for the Utica loss, the Empire win,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually going to say like 9-7 Empire. So again, I think it's going to be a higher scoring game.
Okay. 9-7 loss. Heard. Now we both have different totals. We have different goal differentials. We have the same result, but there's that bonus point if it goes to overtime.
Yeah,
So I like it.
which of course mine can't go to overtime with my score.
Mm-hmm. Um, Rated, what's your prediction for Sunday's game or
Ugh.
Saturday's game against San Diego?
Pain. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Pain. Um, I don't like I don't like our odds in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the last time we were there, things didn't go well, and I mean in postseason. So
Oh, I thought you were talking about when we got Shane Butlered.
nope, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about our literal last visit there.
Oh, where we
Was
got Baltimore'd.
yeah, where it was bad. Um, and you've got San Diego coming off of a win. We are their next game, and I don't know what the status of their roster is going to be going into this game because they have been missing a few people. I know that they were just talking about that on the most recent broadcast that have been missing due to a lot of injuries. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is, but right now they've got Chris Toth out, they've got Taylor Walter Bond out, Luis Morales, and they've got like 3 or 4 other people that are either doubtful or probable. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they've got a few people that are in the wind, as it were, but they still have, you know, the big wild card or the big thing there is Boris Pardo. I mean, he's a big factor to them winning games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think that they're going to come out to a pretty early lead and they're going to keep it. And honestly, I'm actually on board with Huber on this one. I like 7-4. That's kind of where my head was at. I was going to say 7-5, but I will go with the Huber prediction of 7-4. San Diego.
All right. Well,
Prove me
um,
wrong, guys. Prove me wrong.
yeah, look, I'd love to be proven wrong more than we've been proven right this year.
Yep.
Look, it's San Diego. They are still on paper the favorites
Yep.
just because of the roster depth. And I don't just mean favorites in this game, I mean Ron Newman Cup favorites.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They It's home field. It's Utica's playing 2 days previously.
Mm-hmm.
They're San Diego's rested. Unlike last time, they will have got Costa back. They will have Mendez, even if Morales is out. So there's 2 lethal weapons on offense that they didn't have. And they held us to 3 goals at home because they started doing what other teams have been copying since. And that's just let's take away Pinal and see if anyone else can beat us.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So
Pinal's just been getting locked down every game,
I expect
and
more of that coming up. So
so do I.
I have this as a loss as well, and I got an 8-3.
Even bigger spread.
Yeah.
Dang.
I just I I don't know if I've seen enough improvement offensively to expect a better showing, especially if Pardo plays the whole game and you're not starting off against the backup who is technically the third string.
And we also don't know who's going to travel for us.
We don't know who's traveling. Cole Stevens was out with an illness. Tyson Santos missed a game this past weekend. Who I, I don't know. They didn't, share anyone with the league to post for injury report,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like any of us get to know. Again, accountability and basic transparency you would expect from a team.
Yep.
And honestly, the injury report is something we've been harping on since we started this podcast, and it's really disappointing that they can't get that fixed.
Yeah, unfortunately, the injury report is definitely something that is still kind of a problem. It's definitely something that we just don't consistently get information on. That just goes right back to the public communication that we're lacking and that we need.
Hmm. No, and yeah, just consistency from playing to how the roster has been built to the level of professionalism that the front office has had with running it as a franchise has floundered.
Yep.
And it's making it hard to want to care about this team.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm always going to care about this team, but
Yeah, I mean, I got them tatted on my arm, so we both grow to my dying days, as Tupac said.
I mean, yeah, we're always going to be behind this team. It's just a matter of, are they behind the fans? And I know the guys are. I know a good, at least, I can't say that's the other thing. I mean, for some of them, you don't know that for sure because a lot of them we haven't been able to speak to. But, I know that the core group, they are behind their fans 100%, and we're behind them. And then they're behind us, and then it's just a constant thing. But it's hard to see that when the back office, doesn't have our back in just telling us basic information.
Mm-hmm.
And sharing like, hey, here's what's going on, here's the status of the team. It's not great, but at least we're telling you, so you can be prepared.
Yeah, I'd love some clear injury updates. I'd love some clarification about the roster just in general. Like, say what you will about other leagues, and the MLB is probably headed for a lockout and or strike, whatever you want to call it, coming up in 2027. But I can go online, I can find out what every team's spending, I can find out how much they made, I can go, oh, this team's being really cheap, oh, this team's throwing all their money at it and not having any luck. That's sorry, something about the only major league program operating in the red got stuck in my throat. But it's I know the league is trying to work towards that kind of level.
Mm-hmm.
There just needs to be some traction on it. And not just in, yeah, we're upping our standards, but we're still going to have broadcast dropout and we're going to have equipment fail because it gets installed wrongly. And we're going to have teams not put in their injury reports, teams not pronounce player names right because we don't have other teams, the visiting teams, like providing pronunciation guides. Um, we know every team has home broadcasts, but we're not gonna like try to make them be even moderately programmed for a national broadcast where
Mm-hmm.
they're as unbiased as possible.
Right.
It's
Basically, um, stop talking about the the things you're trying to fix and actually work towards them. Actually work towards fixing them.
As you said earlier, it's one thing to talk the talk, it's another to walk the walk.
Exactly.
Yeah, Brandon, I think that's going to do it for us unless you have anything else you want to add.
Uh, no, I think that pretty much covers it. I think I've covered plenty.
Okay.
More
Yeah,
tonight than I usually do.
had a nice long one tonight.
Yeah, had a lot to talk about.
We did. We did. Well, you know where to find us on social media. We're back every Monday, though maybe coming up we'll have to switch that just because of the President's Day game.
Of course. Yep.
Excuse me. And but that's 2 weeks out. We won't worry about that. Ooh, want to do a quick little bonus prediction? Sunday's the Super Bowl.
Oh
Who you
wait,
got?
no, I actually have a stake in this game.
Yeah, you do.
I don't remember who they're playing.
It's a
Seahawks.
rematch.
It's a rematch. Yes, it is. Of the I almost said Shane Butler. Oh my God. Wait, was it Shane? No. It was Butler that won it. I just don't remember what his
the
first name was.
interception when they threw the ball instead of handing it to their running back from like the 2 yard line.
Malcolm Butler. That's who
Malcolm
it was.
Butler.
Yeah. The good Butler. I mean, on paper, both teams had a stellar season. I mean, 17-3 for one, 16-3 for the other. Again, just looking at that on paper. I don't watch the friggin' sport most of the time, so I'm going based on the stats on paper. Don't blink your eyes at me.
Oh no, I was trying to. I'm like, wait, they played the same amount of games. How's one of them have more? And then I'm like, oh, one had the bye in the first round of the playoffs, the other one didn't.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, it would be funny to get a repeat. Not the exact same way, but obviously I'm skewed. I would love to see the Patriots win, because I'm a Patriots fan. I've been a Patriots fan since I was told that I'm going to be a Patriots fan when I married my wife. Actually, no, when I started dating my wife. So we're talking,
Long enough to remember the Logan,
since
Ryan,
'07.
Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, since '07. So I mean,
long enough to remember the Eli Manning upsets.
Mm-hmm. So, it's been a while. Been through some good stuff, been through some bad times, and here we are, at least back in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I got to go all in and say that, we're going to take it. And I think 28-24. It's going to be a close one.
Okay. Look, part of this is in spite. Part of this is because I think it would be funny that just kind of like the Jets fans would consider it a win for their franchise because they drafted Sam Darnold, even if he wins the Super Bowl for another team.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd consider it a win just because it would be against the Patriots.
Everyone loves to hate the Patriots.
Yeah, you guys didn't suffer long enough. You don't get 20 plus years of being one of the best franchises in any sport of all time.
Have you seen this
And
team
then-
before that?
Nobody cares what happened in the 1900s.
It still happened.
It did, but nobody
It's still
cares.
history. It's still part of their history. They still
the only-
suffered for a while.
The only thing that you get to talk about in the 1900s is when you talk to a Bills fan, you go, ah, yeah, widen to the right. So I've got Seahawks, a little bit lower scoring, 23-17. Jackson Smith-Njigba as the MVP.
Okay. No idea who that is.
Guy that came into the league a few years ago, really high prospect, didn't quite look like he was gonna become a star. Yeah, looked like he'd be a serviceable wide receiver,
Okay.
and turned into one of the best in the league this year.
Yeah, like I said, I follow at a distance football. I follow, other sports like this basically way more than that. So
I
it's just
follow
not my
basically
thing.
because of fantasy football.
Yeah, I know how bad I am, so I don't bother.
Oh, I'm done. I drafted Joe Burrow. He got injured in like the second or third week. So I traded for Pat Mahomes, who tore his ACL. I drafted Malik Neighbors. He tore his ACL. I drafted Cam Scattaboo. He had his leg turned inside out, basically. I drafted Quinshawn Judkins. He broke his leg. Like, it's not fun when, like, yeah, I would play for money and I could deal with losing it. But when it's because your roster just turns into the emergency room,
Yeah.
it's different than just I picked badly and these guys had bad years.
Fair.
All right, so that's everything for us. You guys know where to find us. Discord chat will be going during these games. I know I'm staying up for them.
Yeah, I plan on it.
And
I mean, what else do I got to do?
if it's anything like the Tacoma games, you'll want to be in that chat. You can shoot us a message or comment or just look through our post. We got Discord listed a couple times in there.
Yep, I will plan to be in the Discord chat for sure.
Mhm.
It was pretty dead when everyone's at the game.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing, but it's the closest thing we're gonna get to the YouTube and Twitch chat of the old days.
Yeah, as close as we can get.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just hopefully we get some clarity
Yep.
on this team.
Yep. All right.
Until next time, he's Brandon. I'm Matt. We're gonna freeze in Boonville
As always.
and go Utica.
Good luck this weekend, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing, go Utica City.